I can't wait. It's going to be amazing, actually. Um, I love the idea of the space, and I love the design of it, and it seems like an amazing experience that I'm really into. Um, Creating and supporting a storefront business, especially in New York City, is a risky and expensive undertaking. Why would you move Dom from the digital space with low overhead and minimal maintenance costs into a real-world brick-and-mortar location?
Mm. Uh, well, currently with the new frontier of digital and online shopping, the online experience still falls short. Um, and we feel that creating a brick and mortar location for Dom will allow people to get to know the objects and experience the materiality of them, as well as form new relationships with the cities, grow alongside like-minded communities, um, and even create a memorable experience for themselves. So we're really all about the experience, and we feel like having an offline experience is like the purest way of making that happen.
And I saw that in the image that you showed of the store, there's kind of like a seating area in the front, and then you've created certain initiatives like taking selfies in various locations. Have you considered other ways to kind of sort of keep customers in the location and create a third space?
Yes, of course. We were hoping that Dom would be a multi-able space, meaning that we would be having events and partnerships. There's potential there to even bring bands or musicians from each of the cities or have artist talks. So we're really hoping to unite people and celebrate these different cities and the creatives that are behind them.
So having bands that sort of go with the theme kind of continues the experience. Nice. Your phase one startup cost is, I think, $65,500, right? $65,500. The printed catalog, which I love because I know it's going to look amazing, is $12,000. As designers, we all love artifacts and beautifully designed objects, but what value does the printed catalog have or add to Dom's equity? Especially considering that in phase one, Dom is purely a digital space.
So I think in a world of online shopping and the internet, we're really summed up by our analytics, and I feel like Dom customers need a way to experience the privacy and a personal experience with Dom, thus creating a catalog which would be able to be sent to their home and would be able to actually be like an object that reflects the experience. I think it's a really authentic way for us to build relationships with our potential customer base offline as well, so driving the material experience home.
Right, so I have a tangible object. Do you perceive that tangible object being different than the online? Meaning, we're calling it a catalog, but is it more than a catalog?
Yes, that's a good question. We were hoping the catalog would be a strong reflection of the actual interior spaces of the store. So it would be objects in context, not on a pedestal. Hopefully, down the line, we'd be able to expand to incorporate artist stories and more reflections of the people and the objects and the process, because without that, it's a valuable addition to the editorial voice of Dom and what we want to share about the cities. It's not just the objects, it's the people who create them.
Right, so you sort of celebrate the tastemakers that are helping you create that. Great. With one-of-a-kind products, which is the whole point of this, right? It's the thing that I can find, or somebody has found them somewhere. It's not a mass market product, or once was a mass market product. How do you plan to continuously replenish stock, and how do you plan to recoup costs for products that don't sell? And a second part of that is, and that includes sort of return shipping or warehouse or storage costs and things like that.
Of course. So in terms of inventory, with the scalable phases, we are going to be starting small with the e-commerce shop and the catalog with smaller items as well, like focusing on stationery and ephemera and collectibles, and then growing to larger items with a pop-up store and testing. So we're going to be very thoughtful in our buying choices. They're going to be in limited runs directly from the artist, and there is potential to put those items online after the season's over. So they'll still be available online. In the brick and mortar space, there will be storage for the items, but for larger items, we've considered looking in New Jersey for warehouse space to manage the inventory and also shipment and logistical.
Right, and I saw that you had the van and stuff for delivery.
And there's a van.
Very
yes.
important in New York. So one of the premises of Dom's brand is the sort of perceived appetite for adventure, right? More specifically towards travel, museums, and concerts, food. Based on this, you mentioned that Dom will create targeted advertisements on travel videos or use social media platforms and build partnerships with tourism boards, right? Air Canada, things like that. There seems to be a real opportunity to celebrate and give back to the cities and the influencers and individual business owners that Dom kind of needs to be successful. Do you foresee Dom in 3, 5, or 10 years extending its reach to highlight and give back to those communities, including restaurants, hotels, artists, manufacturers, or other curators and people in the know that are important to Dom's status?
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to creating more meaningful partnerships with people 3 to 5 years in, once we kind of get our legs with the store and the community built. I think there's a huge opportunity to work with people in each of the cities, be it emerging creatives or established creatives, to create video content, throw events, and even perhaps have satellite stores running through simultaneously as Dom features his city in New York. And also, I mean, we're looking at bigger partnerships, like perhaps even like-minded brands like Canon, who, if we were to put a camera in the hands of some of these creators, we could actually get some rich content showing an insider's view to creation and living and like that authenticity of the narrative of each city.
Right, because it's all about that experience again. And so a question I've been asking everybody is sort of, what is your biggest risk or challenge?
Yeah, so definitely the biggest risk with Dom is opening a brick and mortar store in New York City because of the high overhead costs, competitors, and among other things. But I feel like with scalable phasing and customer insights along the way and the potential to meet a partner who has experienced retail in New York, that Dom could be a successful venture if we just take our time and listen to our customers and find the most authentic pieces of different cities and bring them to New York.
That's good. Thank you very much.
Thank
Love
you.
it.